Have you spent much time in Utah?
I went there once. I went to Park City. I recommend it highly.
See, I think a lot of people go and they do what a lot of people do in Utah. They ski and go, this place is great. They don't necessarily realize what the hell it is to live there, to grow up there. It's a weird place. Lots of it.
I saw that movie SLC Punk.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if that movie is the same thing as real life, but the parts of Salt Lake City that look awful in that, from what I understand, after having spoken to other folks that live in Salt Lake City, is kind of right on the money. What was that guy's name? The Salt Lake City punk guy? Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies?
I can't remember that guy's name. He was in Scream, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, everyone thought he was going to be this big deal, and now we can't remember his name. It's too bad. He seemed good. I wonder how he's doing. Like, someone like that has a, I don't know, 4 or 5 long movie career. I think he did okay. Think he has to work anymore? Probably not, depending on his particular
Matthew
movie.
Lillard.
There you go. Yeah, I think Matthew Lillard is doing okay financially. You can check out that Celebrity Net Worth site, but I know for a fact that's wrong because I've been standing there with celebrities as they look at themselves and be like, $18.5 million. I wish. Anyways. Are older people smarter?
I don't know. I like getting older, though. Life is an education, and if you're older, you're smarter. I just believe that. If you're in an argument with somebody and they're older than you should listen to them. It doesn't mean they're right. It means that even if they're wrong, their wrongness is rooted in more information than you have. They've been here longer. If you're older, you're smarter. How many people here by applause are 45 or older? 45 or older, applaud. Okay? That's about 60 people out of 2,400. Here's the interesting thing. There's way more. I can see you. There's so many more. This is Arizona. There are way more people in that demographic, but they didn't clap. Why? Because they're smart. They're sitting in the dark going, I don't have to clap. I don't have to do anything. They're not doing it. And they're right. You know why? Because never identify yourself. Never. Are you crazy? You don't know why I'm asking. How do you know what I'm... Okay, burn them all. Burn everybody over 45. How do you know I'm not going to do that? How many people here by applause are 40 or younger? 40 or younger, applaud. That's every time. Woo! Woo! Every time. That is a weird thing to celebrate in a room where you're not the only people here. That's like going to a cancer ward. Not me. Woo! I don't have it. I don't have
This
it.
is the 80s Show on iHeartRadio.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. Say ho, ho. Say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
So just so we're totally clear on this, just so we're crystal clear on this, I'm not declaring myself a candidate for president. I'm not seeking the Republican nomination. Anybody can do it. I'm just not doing it to be different. God. Donald Trump, and we'll get into this later on in the show. Donald Trump has announced that he is officially making a run at being president, and he seems to be doing it without any sense of irony whatsoever. And ordinarily, I'd feel like this was a bit of a cheap-ass publicity stunt, but in his particular case, I think he means it. Best I can tell, I think he means it. We can tell that he means it, if only because it looks like he might have to not be on his TV show, The Apprentice, while he's running for president. There's these rules about equal time for presidential candidates among television networks, and that would obviously give him way more than other presidential folks were looking at having. So, yeah, I think old Crazy Hair himself is making an unironic run at being president of the United States of America. It's a bunch of fringe wackadoos. It's a joke. Like, the rest of the world is laughing at us. The rest of the world is laughing at us because of what election 2016 is shaping up like. The left not as ridiculous as the right at the moment, just because the right contains, well, what it contains. And this is why the left will probably win. I mean, look, I don't like Hillary. I don't. I just don't like her. I don't trust her. I don't find her to be a good or responsible person in my sort of very surfacey examination of whether or not I feel like she'd make a good president. I don't know how you feel. And if you're going to be like, well, I vote Republican, son. Well, here's the thing. No. That's not what this show is about. This show is about the meaninglessness that has come to be associated with various political parties and titles. I vote Republican, I vote Democrat because my dad voted Republican and Democrat. You know how much water that holds in this day and age? I think the first president that my father ever voted for, that he was ever old enough to vote for, was President John F. Kennedy. And President John F. Kennedy had problems back in the day because he was a Democrat. And he couldn't get the black vote. Why would a Democrat not be able to get the black vote? I mean, generally speaking, in this day and age, if you want to make a presupposition based on statistics about how a black person will vote, it's going to be Democrat. Well, here's the thing. One generation ago, during my father's lifetime, bearing in mind we're Republicans, son, or we're Democrats, son, one generation ago when my father voted for John F. Kennedy, he was having problems getting the black vote because the black vote was associated very strongly with members of the KKK and the Deep South who wanted to rise again. Things change.
iHeartRadio shines the spotlight on Steve Winwood.
Steve Winwood's music career began its amazing journey at the young age of 15. As the driving force of the Spencer Davis Group, the group enjoyed a string of chart success by way of such enduring classics as Keep On Running, Gimme Some Lovin', and I'm a Man. The international success of these singles bolstered Winwood's confidence and strengthened his resolve to seek out new rhythmic possibilities. In 1967, Winwood left the Spencer Davis Group and co-founded Traffic. Beloved for their eclectic style and superbly crafted songs, Traffic routinely defied convention to celebrate a host of sounds and influences. To try his hand with other creative partnerships, Winwood left Traffic in 1969 to join a new group formed by Cream guitarist Eric Clapton and drummer Ginger Baker, rock's first supergroup, Blind Faith.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Steve Winwood and all your favorite artists.
Hi, I'm Adina Menzel. This is a song I wrote that's really an exploration of who I am and what I stand for at this point in my life. This is Jasmine Akhtar, a local health worker in Bangladesh. What she stands for is helping children survive. Every day, Jasmine takes a stand against the common illnesses that can claim the lives of children in her remote village. When you help health workers like Jasmine, you can help the good go further at goodgoes.org. Brought to you by Save the Children and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Cole, the high school junior with the freakishly deep voice. You're listening to AD on iHeartRadio. And after this is done, Morgan Freeman, I'm coming after you for some narration money, bitch.
Hey, you, what's that sound? I'm coming so loud from your radio dial. AD, we get it down when you're rocking the jams. Here I am, going back once again. I'm ruling all city like the king I am.
So Conan had a good take on Donald Trump running for president. I don't know if you caught it, but, well, we'll have a listen.
Here's the latest about who's running for president. Donald Trump announced he's running for president today. No, Donald Trump announced today he is running for president of the United States, which, by the way, traditionally means 6 more weeks of comedy. We're going to be in good shape. Oh, yeah. Due to Donald Trump entering the presidential race, here's the sad news. Season 15 of Celebrity Apprentice will not air. Yeah. But not to worry, with Trump running for president, you'll still get to see an irrelevant B-list celebrity not get a job. So, it's going to work out.
Yeah. Here's the thing. All laughing and joking aside. Well, no, you can't go all laughing and joking aside because that's exactly what... I mean, forget the Conans of this world. Do you know what a field day the people are having on an international stage with this? Look, just the field on the right alone has the rest of the universe pointing and laughing at us like we're a bunch of semi-evolved simians picking bugs off of one another and eating them. The rest of the world doesn't understand why any viable candidate on the right-hand side has to be such a Bible thumper. They say the same thing as we do. They're like, oh, wait a second, hold on. Wasn't America really big on that whole separation of church and state thing? Weren't they? Yeah. Or how come the Jeb Bushes and the Ted Cruzes and the Rand Pauls and all of the above make constant reference to the Bible? What does gay marriage have to do with the political process over there? How does going to church affect the budget? Why? And then Donald Trump comes screaming into the race. Donald Trump and his hair come screaming into the race. And we prove ourselves to be that much more of a ridiculous laughingstock. Here's Stephen Colbert.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that I have an announcement to make. Donald Trump has announced he is running for president of the United States. Thank you. This will be the finest, most luxurious, gold-plated, diamond-encrusted campaign that will give hope to a weary nation until together we reach that fine fall day when the new season of Celebrity Apprentice premieres. Yes. And if elected, Trump will be, in his own word, the greatest jobs president that God ever created. Yes, I agree with Donald that America is dead, buried in a coffin, in salted earth with our enemies on it and laughing, and Donald Trump is the only man who can, excuse me, I'm just moved. I'm physically moved by the knowledge that Donald Trump is the only man who can dig up the corpse of that nation and marry it. Oh yeah, I'm really rich. I will never be in a bicycle race. The real unemployment is, who knows? Pick a hat. Pick a hat out of a hat. Mexico has the hats. They have the hat dance. They know what to do with them. The Mexicans know what to do with the hats. That's enough. That's good. Let's go. Let's go. Music. Music. Let's go. Come on. September 8th. September 8th.
That is how the rest of the world sees us, and with good reason. Look. Screw it. We'll get into it later. I don't have the intestinal fortitude to talk about the absolute laughable mess that everything has become on my beloved right side of the political fence. The side where, honestly, I think ideologically I most normally fall. Ideologically, I most normally fall to the right. And not just when I'm dressing either. Pretty big idea. No, ideologically, I think I fall to the right just because I believe in, pulling oneself up by one's own bootstraps, laissez-faire capitalism, making something of yourself. I just feel like if you're looking for some sort of leg up in this world, you're probably not going to get it unless you create it for yourself. And that idea of taking care of one's own, I think, because all bets are off and all political titles and ideologies are meaningless, I think that aligns me closer with the right, just by the nature of my work ethic and how I feel other people should have a similar work ethic, because I'm egotistical enough to find my own way with that sort of thing to be the right way. I think I fall down a little bit more on the side of the right. I used to be a card-carrying Republican, and then I realized it was ridiculous, and I became a conservative independent. And then I realized when you said that you were conservative independent, that meant libertarians were like, hey, you're a libertarian. Why don't you come over to my place, help me hoard AR-15s, and we can smoke pot together as we talk about small government and wait in the weeds for orders from someone with the last name Paul. Yeah, no, thanks. That's not my bag.